Speak Your Truth. We have Dr. Matthew Raidbard with us tonight. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I cannot complain, man. Just glad to have you on here with me.
I'm glad to be here. Excited to talk with you tonight.
Awesome. So tell us about yourself.
I started off my career as a men's college basketball coach, but I've been in college athletics my entire professional career for the last 15, 16 years. That's really been, my entire professional journey has just been college athletics.
Why? Why college? Was that what you always wanted to do, or did one day the opportunity just present itself?
Yeah, so when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a college basketball coach.
Nice.
That was my dream. I never had any other dreams, no astronaut, firefighter, nothing else. I just wanted to be a college basketball coach. I love March Madness. I was obsessed with it. But I particularly love championship week. I would always, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of championship week before selection Sunday, I would always fake sick from school starting in about the third grade. And I would stay home and stay in the basement, and I would get up and I just watch championship week, every day, watch all those games, all the conference tournaments. And I just loved when a mid-major team would win their conference championship and everybody would run onto the court and there'd be just such adulation and excitement. And I always wanted that. That was what I just always wanted to experience that. So that was what kind of started me on the journey, was just always wanting to be a college basketball coach.
That's awesome. The power of manifestation, man. And that's a beautiful reason. That hype, it's amazing to be involved in that. Where all did you coach when you were coaching?
So I got my first coaching job. It was at a small Division II school down in the southwest corner of New Mexico called Western New Mexico University. And I was there for 2 years. Kind of got my feet wet in coaching, had a really great experience. And then I kind of bounced around after that. Like a lot of young coaches, I went out to Dartmouth College, out in the Ivy League, went down to Florida Gulf Coast, then went back up near where I'm from at Chicago State University.
Nice. Chicago, that's my city, man. I was just there over the weekend. I love Chicago so much. What did you learn bouncing around so much, being around all those different people, coaching with those different coaches, all the players, where they come from? Was there anything that you learned specifically that helped you, let's say that helped you where you are now? That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I learned a ton. And one of the big things I learned was just about everybody's differences. I learned when I was down in New Mexico, growing up outside of Chicago, I knew about an urban lifestyle, a suburban lifestyle, but now I was living in a rural area. People were very, people grew up very differently than I did. We were right near the border between the United States and Mexico. So there was a very large Hispanic population, which was great because there was a lot of diversity in the area. At the school where I worked, it was a Hispanic Serving Institute. So I really got a great experience just learning about a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people, and then also who had a lot of different experiences that were very different from my own. And that was really impactful. And I definitely think from the start, it shaped one of the most important things that I always thought as a coach made up a successful team. And for me, trying to be a successful coach, which is diversity and inclusivity. And that's in a variety of different ways. But, the most successful teams that I coached, I think the most enjoyable teams for me and the players were the ones that were the most diverse. And then that helped us be more inclusive. So I definitely think I learned that early on in my career from, going rural New Mexico to the Ivy League, totally different experience. There was a lot of diversity in economic backgrounds in the Ivy League, then going down to Florida and back to the south side of Chicago for another experience. So I definitely think that had a really strong impact on me as a coach and as a person.
That's awesome. So as a coach, how does having that background in diversity help build team culture and help you with leadership?
So for one, I think it really opens, from a coach's perspective, it really helps you emphasize the importance of understanding everybody's differences. And, that means everybody's backgrounds, everybody's personalities, everybody's kind of individual needs from a coach. I think it helps to celebrate those things. And I think it also helps to kind of get everything out in the open as a program. We're celebrating everything. We're not asking anybody to hide anything or de-emphasize anything. I think that helps everybody be more comfortable naturally. I also think it helps the athletes build stronger relationships together because, whereas I had been a part of, programs where, that wasn't emphasized as much. And I think there was some cliques or factions on the team where, people kind of tended to go towards others that they kind of shared experiences or a background with, which there's nothing wrong with. But I think when you kind of emphasize, the diversity aspect and celebrate it, and you're very inclusive, and you make it a point to recruit a diverse team, I think then the athletes are much more likely to feel more comfortable interacting earlier on, and you build just a stronger culture as a result.
Absolutely. I don't have nearly as much experience as you coaching, but I agree 100%, especially from the player aspect. 1000% I agree. Tell us about your book. When did it come out? Where can we buy it? All of that.
So my book is Lead Like a Pro: Effective Leadership Styles for Athletic Coaches. And, it's available everywhere. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever people get books.
Nice.
And I really wrote it to be a resource for coaches to be able to help them with their leadership practice. Because I think everything coaches do, all the decisions they make that impact their players, it comes from their leadership. It comes from, their beliefs and values and what's important to them. And then that comes out through their leadership behaviors. And I really felt like this was an opportunity to kind of help coaches be better leaders and hopefully impact not only, current coaches, helping them be more successful, but also the next generation of coaches coming up behind me, giving them a resource to hopefully start their leadership practice on really strong footing and just be really confident and successful and effective leaders.
Absolutely. That's awesome, Matt. Is there anything else you would like to share with you? That's all I have for you tonight. Super quick, I know.
No, you know what? I really appreciate it. I really like the podcast. Love what you're doing. I think Speak Your Truth is just so important. The message is so important. Everybody has a different truth, and I think celebrating that is fantastic. So I love the work you're doing. And I look forward to watching what you do with the podcast and everything else, because I know you got a lot of other creative and innovative stuff that you're going to do. So I'm just excited to come on and been a small part.
Thank you. No, you're a huge part, man. Anybody that comes on, you guys spending your time with me and even wanting to be a guest on the show, that means a lot to me and what I do, what you guys are doing for the audience even. So thank you.
Absolutely. No, this is great. I appreciate it.
Of course.